Hello everyone. Hi, I welcome you all to another lecture with Zenith Academy Online. I am Shravika Jamnik, your teacher for today. Today we are going to learn chapter number 4 of Commerce Class 9 ICSE. It is Classification of Commercial Organization. So let's start. What is the definition of commercial organization? Organizations which undertake commercial activities are known as commercial organizations. So it is basically the combination of these two words, the organization which undertakes commercial activities. What is the main motive of this commercial organization? The main motive is to earn money. Commercial organizations may be micro, small, medium, or large. This is just arranged in ascending order. So large means the biggest and micro means the smallest. Wide variety of organizations in commercial organizations, and these can be industrial, trading of goods from one place to another, as well as transportation, warehousing, etc. So classification on the basis of ownership, who owns the commercial organization. It has been the commercial organization has been divided into three parts, and these three parts are private, public, and joint. So let's learn about them one by one now. Private sector enterprises, the first bifurcation that we saw. It is owned, controlled, and financed by a private businessman. So, a private businessman, there's no involvement of any kind of government in this kind of enterprise, no government participation. The main motive of a private sector enterprise is to earn profit, because without earning profit, there is no sustenance of the business. So the main motive is to earn profit. Here are some examples of some private banks. Axis Bank, HDFC, ICICI, and Dhanalakshmi Bank. These are all private sector enterprises. They are private banks. They are not owned by the government, or not even small percent of it is owned by the government. Another good example is Reliance Industries Limited. This is also owned by uh, private businessmen, and it was founded by Dhirubhai Ambani. Moving on, what are the main features of a private sector enterprise? The first one is private ownership and control. Second one is profit motive, and the third one is no state participation. So what does private ownership and control means? It means that it may be owned by an individual or a group of individuals. It can be just one person, or it can be a team that is working together and handling the entire business. When it is owned by just one person, it is called a sole proprietorship. We will learn about this in the coming lessons. And when it is owned by a group of persons, it is called a joint family business, partnership, joint stock company, or cooperative society. We will also be learning about joint family business in the next chapter. Profit motive. So in case of a private sector enterprise, they have to sustain their business, they have to keep it running, and for that all they need is profit. So profit is the main incentive for work in this case. If there's no profit, there's no livelihood for them. So profit is the main motive. No state participation at all. No government, no state government or central government is a part of private sector enterprises. It is solely owned by private businessmen. So a few more features. Private finance. Let's see how private sector enterprises are financed. The capital is arranged by its owner or owners. If there's just one person, then capital arranged by that one sole proprietor. If a lot of people are involved, if it is a team, then owners. Joint stock company raises capital by issue of shares and debentures. So this can also be done to raise some capital. They can give some shares of their company to the public and they can buy it. And with the help of these shares and debentures, again, they can raise capital for their company. Loans can also be raised to meet long term or short term goals. They can also ask the bank for loans, and banks will be sure to provide them long term or short term capital depending on their goals. Independent management, it is managed by its owners. So whoever owns the business, it is or managed by these independent managers. Joint stock company. So we discussed that some part of the company may also be given to the public in the form of shares, and in such a case it is called as a joint stock company. And in this case, who is representing or who is managing the company? Then in this case, the organization will have a board of directors, and these directors will represent the private sector enterprise as well as the elected representatives of shareholders. So all these people will have representatives and it will form a board of directors, and these people will be deciding the how the organization is managed. Now the second classification of a commercial organization, it is public sector enterprises. Let's see the main features. First one is state ownership. This means that it is fully owned by the government or some public authority. In the first one, it was only owned by private businessmen, but in case of public sector enterprises, it is fully owned by the government. For example, the Reserve Bank of India is fully owned by the government. And in this case, what is the use of the Reserve Bank of India? All the finance related matters, all the finances of our country, India, are managed by Reserve Bank of India. Government control. So, public sector enterprises have government control. Government will be deciding all the rules and regulations. Service motive. So, the primary objective of a public sector enterprise, because it's owned by the government and the government is going to work for the people of its nation. So, the primary objective is to serve the public, serve the people of its nation. And when service is the only motive and not keeping high profits in mind, if that is not the motive, then loss may incur. It's not necessary that always loss will be incurred, but loss may incur. For example, we will see this cylinders. Cylinders are LPG cylinders are sold at a subsidized price. That means they are sold at a slightly reduced price so that people can avail these cylinders, because cylinders are very essential and they're required for daily cooking or daily working in a household. That's why such essential items are sold at a subsidized price. That means at a reduced cost. Another subsidized thing that the government sells to people is grains. So these grains will also be sold at a reduced price, and the reduction in price may incur a loss to the government, but it is for the greater good of the public. That's why uh, the main motive is service, and that's why they sell it at a subsidized price. State financing. So, in case of a public sector enterprise, how is the financing done? The government will provide funds from its budget. So, as we know, the government has allotted budgets for everything, for the running of everything in our nation, right from railways to electricity, everything will have a decided budget. So, the government will provide funds from its budget. Government may also provide loans from state exchequer. So state exchequer is like a treasury of a country, treasury, and the government can provide loans from this treasury of the country to the public sector enterprise. Bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management means the operation is governed by certain rules and regulations that are set up by the government. Public accountability. The entire running of the public sector enterprise is dependent on the public. Undertakings are accountable to the public at large for performance and results. So, however, these public sectors may perform, uh, the public will be responsible for it, will be held accountable for it. For example, if there's a bus service that is owned by the public sector, depending on the number of people who travel using the bus service, depending on that, the public sector enterprise, that is the bus service, will have a profit or a loss. And that way, that's why it is said that the undertakings are accountable to the public for performance and results. Annual audit. So every finance or the way that the public sector enterprise has worked, all of it will be audited, will be checked by a comptroller and auditor general of India. Annual reports, all the reports on a yearly basis will be discussed in the parliament, which is a government body, or the state legislature. Now moving on to the third and the last category, joint sector enterprise. From the word itself, from the word joint, what can we think? We can think that it can be owned or controlled and managed by government, private entrepreneurs, and public. So the three of them will join hands in the joint sector enterprises. The government will come along with the public and the private entrepreneurs. Let's see the main features. It is a mixed ownership, as we have mentioned. It is owned by government, private entrepreneurs, and public. So the ownership is shared by these three. Combined management. So management is also combined in nature. They will share capital. The capital will also come from government and private businessmen and the public. There is share allotted to each category. Government will contribute 26%, private businessmen will contribute 25%, and the remaining 49% will be contributed to by the public. Some examples, here we can see some companies. These are joint sector enterprises in the US. Okay, so thank you. That's it for today. I hope you have understood the lesson. If there are any doubts, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below, and I will see you shortly.